We all know that person. The one you ask, hey, how are you doing? And no matter what's actually going on in their life, the answer is always the same. I'm fine. Maybe you are that person. Well, that simple little phrase can hide a much, much deeper story. And in this explainer, we're going to dive right into it.
So let's just cut to the chase. Does this sound familiar to you? Are you always the dependable one, the low-maintenance friend, the person who just handles everything, no complaints? If so, this is for you. This is for anyone who's ever felt that quiet pressure to just be the easy one.
And this right here, this perfectly sums up that gap we're talking about. On the outside, it's all calm, cool, and collected. I'm fine, no worries, I can handle it. But what's going on inside can be a totally different reality. Feeling overwhelmed, really struggling, and honestly just needing a little help. This disconnect, this is the absolute heart of the I'm fine phenomenon.
So to really get why we do this as adults, we have to rewind a bit. We've got to go back in time. Because this habit of always being fine, it doesn't just pop up out of thin air. For a lot of us, it's a behavior that we learned way back in childhood.
And that brings us to this key idea, the easy child. Now, this isn't some personality type you're born with, not at all. It's a role a child learns to play. They figure out, whether they realize it or not, that to keep things calm or to feel loved, they need to be as low maintenance as possible. And that means pushing their own needs way, way down.
So how does this actually happen? Well, it's usually this quiet little cycle. First, a child senses that their caregivers are stressed. Maybe there are money worries or tension in the house. Second, their instinct is to help by making themselves smaller. They suppress their needs, they don't ask for much, they don't complain. Third, they get praised for this. You're such a good helper, you're so easy. And here's the final crucial step. They start to believe that love and approval depend on them not being a burden. Okay, so let's look at how that childhood strategy grows up with us. Because it doesn't just vanish when you turn 18. Nope. It solidifies. It becomes this core psychological habit, almost like a default setting for how you move through the world. And the main thing happening here is what psychologists call internalizing emotions. It means instead of letting feelings out, sadness, worry, even just needing something, you absorb them. You hold them in. Why? Because you learned that letting them out might cause a problem for someone else. You basically become an expert at hiding in plain sight.
And this brings us to what might be the single most important point of this whole conversation. If this is sounding like you, please really hear this. This is not a flaw in your character. It's not a weakness. It is a brilliant, highly effective survival skill that you learned when you needed it the most. It was your way of coping, of staying connected, and keeping your world from falling apart. But here's the thing. A coping mechanism that's perfect for surviving childhood can come with a really high price tag in adulthood. That quiet strength of the easy child can lead to some pretty significant and often very silent struggles later on. And the main consequence is this idea of emotional self-neglect. It's this unconscious habit of always putting your own emotional needs last. You get so good at scanning the room and figuring out what everyone else needs that you just forget to check in with yourself. Your own feelings become this kind of background static you've learned to tune out. And the long-term impacts of that, they're serious. It makes it incredibly difficult to set boundaries because saying no feels like you're creating a problem. And that's a fast track to chronic stress and burnout. A lot of people even struggle to know what they're actually feeling. They're that disconnected. It can chip away at your sense of who you are, and it makes forming really authentic relationships a huge challenge because no one ever gets to see the real you. So really, it all boils down to this. The easy child grows into an adult who is an absolute pro at giving help, but has no clue how to ask for it. That muscle for asking, it just never got a chance to develop. But this isn't a story that ends in a sad place. Not at all. The real work here is about shifting our perspective. It's about reframing this whole experience, not as something broken, but as something that was built for a very good reason. I just love this quote. Think about your experience this way. It's not a weakness. It's a form of silent resilience. It's proof of how you learned to adapt and survive in a tough emotional environment. You learned how to be strong in the quietest way imaginable. So the goal isn't to throw that resilience away. I mean, being perceptive and independent and strong, those are amazing skills to have. The job now is just to add a new skill to the toolbox, the skill of asking.
The skill of being able to say, you know what, I'm actually not fine, and trusting that you're still worthy of connection and love. And so I'm going to leave you with a question to just sit with for a bit. You don't have to tell anyone, just be honest with yourself. What is one need, just one, that you've been carrying all on your own in silence? Just acknowledging it for yourself, well, that's the very first step.